Ay, tamang-tama. Yung lugar natin, paligid natin, nakaka-amaze kasi ganda ng weather dito sa amin ngayon. So pag-usapan natin ngayon yung pahinga muna tayo sa politika. Ito yung i-share muna sa inyo. I-share ko muna sa inyo. Ito yung reaction ko na itong si Cardinal natin, si Cardinal Tagle, napakalakas niya na magiging kapalit, na magiging Santo Papa. Kapalit itong si Pope Francis na yun, namamahinga na kasi 88 ang edad. So medyo may kaedaran na. Pero nakagulat lang yun kasi noong Biyernes Santo kasi napanood ko pa yung, noong pagkabuhay, napanood ko pa siya na nagbi-bless doon sa mga tao sa may doon sa Vatican. So kinabukasan, yun na nabalita na alas 7 ng umaga dito sa Europe, yun na binawian ng buhay si Santo Papa. Kaya nagulat ako nun. Kasi nakita ko nga, nagbi-bless pa siya sa mga tao nung time na yun eh. Umiikot pa siya sa Vatican. Ko kinabukasan na balita ko, di ko makapaniwala kasi nabigla ako. Nabigla ako. Kaya sabi ko, kasi nagkasakit din naman kasi talaga siya. So sa edad niya na 88, hindi na niya kinaya talaga na magserbisyo pa siya. So yun, namahinga na ang kawawang Santo Papa. Naawa rin ako kasi tinawag ba naman siya na yung pinakapaboritong Santo Papa na dumaan din. So ito naman si Tagle, ito yung pinakapaborito din na na Cardinal na tinatawag to. So may kunting dokumentary isi-share ko sa inyo na napakaganda nitong panoorin kasi tungkol ho to sa kanyang ginagawa ni ito si Cardinal Tagle. Sa ko lang nito ay sana magkaroon tayo ng Santo Papa na Pilipino, na proud din tayo mga Pilipino na magkaroon tayo ng kapwa natin na nagiging pinakamalaking leader na religious sa Katoliko sa buong mundo. Kasi sa buong mundo kasi Katoliko, isa naman to sa pinakamalaki din na religious group. So proud, sino bang hindi proud? Tayo mga Pilipino, di ba? Sana mapili to siya. Pagka ilibing na itong si Pope Francis, doon na magsimula ang kanilang pagpili ng mga magiging Santo Papa. So ito yung video na isi-share ko sa inyo na napakaganda nito. Panoorin nyo.
Behind the towering walls of Vatican City, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle moves through marble corridors where centuries of church history echo with every footstep. But the Filipino Cardinal brings something new to these ancient halls. An Asian perspective that's reshaping how the Catholic Church faces modern challenges. Since he arrived in 2019, Tagle has collected Vatican rolls like others collect stamps. Each position adds another layer to his growing influence. Member of multiple Vatican departments, manager of the Church's vast financial resources, and leader of its worldwide missionary efforts. But unlike his predecessors who often stayed behind closed doors, Tagle brings transparency to these powerful positions. Take his role in managing church money. As a member of the administration of the patrimony of the Holy See, he oversees funds that would make investment bankers dizzy. Yet he pushed for clearer financial reporting and stricter oversight. The faithful deserve to know how their donations serve God's work, he declared during a pivotal meeting that changed Vatican banking practices. His presidency of Caritas Internationalis from 2015 to 2022 showed his skill at handling complex global challenges. When earthquakes shattered Haiti or war erupted in Syria, Tagle coordinated relief efforts that crossed religious and political boundaries. He transformed Caritas from a traditional charity into a modern humanitarian organization, introducing professional management while keeping its spiritual heart. The French government noticed. In February 2024, they awarded him the Legion of Honor, France's highest distinction. During the ceremony at Villa Bonaparte, Tagle spoke not of his achievements, but of the volunteers who make Catholic charity work possible. "This honor belongs to countless hands that serve the poor," he said, touching the medal with characteristic humility. Months later, as special envoy to the National Eucharistic Congress, Tagle faced 50,000 American Catholics in Indianapolis's Lucas Oil Stadium. The same stadium that hosts NFL games thundered with applause as he connected ancient church teachings to modern life challenges. Even non-Catholics in attendance found themselves moved by his words. But perhaps his most significant achievement lies in breaking the European grip on Vatican leadership. As the first Filipino to reach the highest cardinal rank, Tagle cracked open doors that had been closed to Asian church leaders for centuries. When he speaks in Vatican meetings, he brings perspectives from the fastest-growing Catholic populations, Asian and African communities, that will shape the Church's future. His deep understanding of both Eastern and Western cultures makes him a natural bridge builder. During interfaith dialogues, Muslim leaders praise his respectful approach to religious differences. Jewish rabbis appreciate his efforts to strengthen Catholic-Jewish relationships. Even secular organizations seek his input on global challenges like climate change and poverty. Today, Vatican insiders and international media regularly float Tagle's name as a potential future pope. Such speculation would once have seemed impossible for an Asian cardinal. But Tagle's combination of spiritual depth, administrative skill, and genuine warmth has changed what many consider possible. Yet those who work closely with him say he remains unchanged by power. Bihatil stops to chat with Vatican gardeners between high-level meetings, remembering their names and family stories. His office door stays open to visitors. His schedule includes time for ordinary Catholics, and his focus remains clear, serving people, not power. In Vatican City's complex world of tradition and change, Tagle has accomplished something rare, earning respect from traditionalists while pushing for necessary reforms. As one veteran Vatican reporter noted, he's proving that change doesn't require revolution. Sometimes it just needs a smile and an open heart. While Cardinal Tagle's growth through Vatican ranks has captured global attention, how he wields his unprecedented power truly sets him apart. How does this humble Filipino priest shake up centuries of rigid Catholic protocol while winning hearts on both sides of the theological divide? Let us find out. The People's Cardinal, changing the Church. In the bustling streets of Manila, stories spread like wildfire about a cardinal who rides the bus, carries his own bags, and shares meals with street children. "He sat right next to me on the jeepney," recalls Maria Santos, a street vendor. "At first, I didn't believe it was him until he smiled and asked about my family." This isn't a publicity stunt. It's Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's daily life. Known as the Asian Francis for his similarities to the current pope, Tagle has carved out a unique path in church leadership that breaks with centuries of tradition while staying true to core Catholic values. Take his approach to hot-button issues. While firmly supporting Catholic teachings against abortion and artificial contraception, Tagle speaks with unusual gentleness about topics that typically spark heated debates. "The harsh words we used in the past," he once said during a packed conference, "have built walls instead of bridges." His voice softens notably when discussing LGBTQ+ Catholics and divorced people. During a landmark speech that left his audience in tears, he challenged the Church's traditional harsh stance. "Before we speak of sin, we must speak of human dignity. Before we point fingers, we must extend hands." Environmental protection ranks high on his agenda too. When typhoons batter the Philippines, Tagle doesn't stop at prayers, he rolls up his sleeves. He's launched programs combining practical action with spiritual guidance, getting parishes to plant trees, reduce plastic use, and create community gardens. The media-savvy Cardinal knows his way around modern communication channels. His Facebook Live sessions draw millions of viewers, and his YouTube channel breaks down complex church teachings into bite-sized, relatable messages. But unlike many social media personalities, Tagle responds personally to messages from troubled followers, often late into the night. Poverty isn't an abstract concept for discussion, he often reminds his fellow church leaders. His offices in Manila and later in Vatican City kept an open-door policy for the poor. Security guards tell tales of him skipping formal dinners to sit with homeless families who showed up seeking help. During the height of Manila's urban poverty crisis, Tagle transformed empty church properties into temporary shelters. He established soup kitchens that served dignity alongside meals, creating spaces where people could eat at tables with proper plates and cutlery, not in lines with disposable containers. But perhaps his most revolutionary act is his willingness to admit when the church has fallen short. During a controversial debate about church wealth, Tagle shocked traditionalists by publicly supporting greater financial transparency. "We cannot preach poverty while living in luxury," he stated firmly. His leadership style raises eyebrows among some traditional Catholics who prefer the church's old ways. Yet Tagle remains unmoved by criticism. "The church must change with the times," he explains, "not in its truth, but in how we share that truth with the world." Through it all, Tagle maintains his trademark smile and accessible demeanor. Whether he's discussing theology with scholars or sharing a simple meal with janitors, he brings the same attentive presence. As his former secretary notes, in a world of loud voices, Cardinal Tagle shows that true power lies in gentle strength. This blend of traditional values and progressive approach, delivered with genuine humility, has earned him a unique place in modern Catholicism. As one Vatican observer noted, Tagle isn't changing what the Church believes, he's changing how it shows that belief to the world. Parish priest turns Vatican power player. The year was 1982 when Father Luis Antonio Tagle first stepped into the sunlit courtyard of San Agustin Parish in Mendez Núñez, Cavite. Fresh from his ordination, the young priest carried nothing but a worn Bible and a burning determination to serve his community. Little did the parishioners know they were watching the first steps of a man who would shake up the Catholic Church's traditional power structure. His sharp mind and gentle spirit quickly caught attention. Within months, he juggled roles as a parish priest while guiding future priests as spiritual director at the Diocesan Seminary of Imus. By 1983, at just 26 years old, he became the seminary's rector, an unusually swift promotion that raised eyebrows and expectations. The Vatican's radar picked up this rising star in 1997 when Pope John Paul II picked him for the International Theological Commission. There, Tagle worked directly under Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, the future Pope Benedict XVI. During intense theological debates, he earned respect not by shouting the loudest, but by listening the hardest. October 2001 marked a pivotal moment. As Bishop of Imus, Tagle broke with tradition. He owned no car, kept no luxuries, and often invited homeless people to share his simple meals. Local vendors tell stories of finding him early mornings, sweeping the cathedral steps himself, refusing special treatment. But it was his handling of difficult situations that truly set him apart. When devastating floods hit Cavite in 2009, Tagle transformed churches into emergency shelters and organized rescue operations, working alongside volunteers in knee-deep water. His actions spoke louder than any sermon. The call to become Archbishop of Manila in 2011 came as the Philippines Catholic Church faced its greatest challenges. Tagle inherited a diocese grappling with poverty, political tension, and questions about the Church's role in modern society. His response? Opening dialogue with critics, championing the poor, and using social media to reach younger Catholics who were drifting away. Vatican insiders still talk about November 24, 2012, the day Tagle received his cardinal's red hat. At 55, he stood out among the aging cardinals, the second youngest member of this elite group. But age wasn't what made headlines. It was his tears during the ceremony, showing vulnerability rarely seen in church leadership. By 2019, Pope Francis made an unprecedented move, calling Tagle to Vatican City as prefect of the Congregation for Evangelization of Peoples. This position, controlling the Church's missionary work and appointing bishops across Asia and Africa, placed unprecedented power in Asian hands. The crowning moment came in 2020, Tagle's elevation to Cardinal Bishop, the highest rank in the College of Cardinals. He became the first Asian to reach this level, breaking centuries of European dominance. Today, his influence stretches from Manila's streets to the Vatican's corridors, where he helps shape the future of a church serving 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide. This exponential growth hasn't changed his basic approach: listening before speaking, serving before leading, and keeping his door open to anyone in need. As one Vatican official noted, in Tagle, we see something rare: power without pride, authority without distance. Modern spiritual leader. In a calm but powerful moment, he stood in front of the crowd, talking about the Eucharist with such deep feelings that many people were brought to tears. It was not just a speech, it was a very personal sharing that linked something holy to the daily challenges his listeners faced. His talent for turning deep religious ideas into messages that felt close and caring made his words stick with people long after they had heard them. His influence went much further than the walls of any one church. Through The Word Exposed, a television show that reached people all over the world, he brought discussions about theology right into people's homes. He took complex religious ideas and turned them into lessons that were easy to understand and useful in everyday life. His warm and friendly presence on screen made it feel like he was talking directly to each person, giving not just faith lessons but also offering support and encouragement. His message went beyond just spiritual teachings. He became a strong advocate for social justice. Time after time, he spoke out against the unfair treatment of those who were marginalized and oppressed. His speeches were more than just calls to action. They were deep reflections on human dignity and the responsibility society has to protect its most vulnerable people. Every word he used was carefully chosen and delivered with such conviction that it was hard for anyone to remain indifferent. People around the world noticed his efforts. His work did not go unnoticed, as well-known universities everywhere honored him with many honorary degrees. These awards were a sign of appreciation for his tireless commitment to promoting education, interfaith conversations, and the bigger ideas of justice and peace. Each degree was a reminder of how far-reaching his impact was, touching both secular and religious communities alike. In the year 2020, his life took a sudden turn when he caught COVID-19. The illness was a tough challenge, but his recovery became a beacon of hope for many who were fighting the virus or had loved ones struggling with it. By openly sharing his battle and recovery, he provided comfort and a sense of unity, putting a human face on the pandemic that had taken so many lives. His survival was not just a personal win, it became a symbol of resilience and the strength of faith in tough times. Another key part of his legacy was his commitment to promoting dialogue between different faiths. At a time when religious divisions and misunderstandings were common, he worked hard to build connections between various religious communities. His approach was based on respect and a genuine desire to understand others, which earned him respect from leaders of different faiths. His efforts broke down barriers and encouraged conversations that focused on shared values rather than differences. What really made him stand out was his rare combination of deep knowledge and caring for others. He could discuss complex religious ideas just as easily as he could offer simple, heartfelt advice to someone in need. This unique mix made his teachings approachable to both scholars and everyday people, creating a welcoming atmosphere in his ministry built by a life dedicated to serving others. Looking at Cardinal Tagle today, the man who moves audiences to tears, builds bridges between faiths, and commands respect from world leaders, raises an intriguing question about his beginnings. Has this always been his dream, or did this calling to serve come along the way? From stethoscope dreams to sacred robes. Nobody saw it coming. Least of all young Luis Antonio Tagle himself. The boy who once dreamed of wearing a doctor's white coat would instead don the crimson robes of a cardinal, becoming one of the Catholic Church's most influential leaders. Born on a warm summer day in Manila on June 21, 1957, Chito, as his family affectionately called him, grew up in a home where faith and culture intertwined like the strands of a carefully woven tapestry. His father, Manuel, a proud Tagalog, and his mother Milagros, from a Chinese-Filipino background, created a unique blend of traditions that shaped their eldest child's worldview. But there was more to Chito's heritage than met the eye. Through his father's side, he carried the blood of the Principalia, the Spanish colonial aristocracy that once ruled Philippine society before the 1896 revolutions. Yet his grandfather Florencio's story painted a different picture of privilege. After being injured by a bomb during World War II, the family had to rebuild their lives, with Chito's grandmother running a modest local diner to make ends meet. Young Tagle walked the halls of St. Andrew's School in Parañaque, where the Shoit missionary sparked something unexpected in his soul. Between science classes and dreams of medical school, the gentle guidance of priest friends slowly turned his heart toward a different kind of healing, one that mended spirits rather than bodies. The decision to enter the Jesuit San Jose Seminary marked a turning point. At the prestigious Ateneo de Manila University, Tagle's brilliant mind flourished. He devoured philosophical texts and theological treatises with the same enthusiasm others might show for popular novels. His professors quickly noticed his exceptional abilities, especially when he earned his pre-divinity degree with remarkable insights that went beyond his years. But it was at the Catholic University of America where Tagle truly spread his intellectual wings. From 1987 to 1991, he dove deep into the complexities of sacred theology, writing a dissertation that impressed even his seasoned advisors. His professor, Joseph Kamanchak, would later remark that Tagle could have become the best theologian in the Philippines, or even in all of Asia, high praise that hinted at the remarkable path ahead. Languages flowed from his tongue as naturally as breathing: Tagalog and English for daily life, Italian for church business, and enough Spanish, French, Korean, and Latin to navigate ancient texts and modern diplomatic circles. Each new language added another layer to his understanding of the world and its people. Yet despite his growing acclaim in academic circles, Tagle never lost touch with his roots, or his nickname, Chito. The same boy who once played in Manila's streets while dreaming of medical school had found a different way to heal, not with prescriptions and procedures, but with words that bridged divides between cultures, between tradition and progress, between heaven and earth. His early years painted the portrait of a man who would later be known as the Asian Francis. Brilliant yet approachable, traditional yet progressive, aristocratic by birth yet humble by choice. The medical career he once envisioned slipped away, replaced by something far more unexpected. A future that would take him from the busy streets of Manila to the historic halls of Vatican City, where his childhood dreams of healing would find expression in ways he never could have predicted.
So bali pang tapos, sabihin ko sa inyo na ang ginawang video na yun, napakaganda na napanood ko. Sabi ko, ang ganda nito . Kaya suportahan natin, magdasal tayo na sana ang kaluluwa ng ating Santo Papa na sana maayos ang kanyang pagyao dito sa mundong ibabaw na to. At ipanalangin na rin natin na sana Pilipino ang magiging Santo Papa para ang Pilipinas baka sakali magbago ang takbo ng pamumuno sa ating bansa pag once na mayroon tayong Santo Papa na Pilipino. Kasi sa totoo lang, dito sa ibang bansa, malakas talaga pagbutuhan lang malakas talaga si Cardinal Tagle. Kasi nga, sabi nga, kung Eurovision lang to halimbawa, kung butuhan sa mga tao, panalo. Magiging Santo Papa siya. Hindi siya, hindi siya nangungulilat sa contender na magiging Santo Papa dito sa ibang bansa. Makikita mo sa mga komentaryo na kung sinong susunod na Santo Papa, isa ito sa nangunguna. At hindi ito sa nangunguna pa lang, number 1 na magiging susunod na Santo Papa. Sana dinggin din ng Panginoon natin na magiging Santo Papa ang kapwa natin na Pilipino. Para baka sakali ang takbo ng ating bansa mag-iba. Hindi ko naman sabihin na magiging siya doon sa politika sa Pilipinas. Malay natin ba? Kasi Santo Papa atin . Okay, ito naman itong si Pope Francis, Argentina to. First din tong Santo Papa na nanggaling sa Latino. Kaya sana may first Filipino first Asia na Santo Papa na manggaling din talaga sa ating bansa na Pilipinas. Proud tayo niyan. Kasi yung hinawakan nito sa Vatican napaka-sensitibo na posisyon ang kanyang hinawakan sa Vatican. So yun lang ho.